Week 14 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few running backs I have as sleepers this week. The first guy, Jordan Mason of the San Francisco 49ers. So Jordan Mason, he's taking the Elijah Mitchell role now, with Mitchell out for the rest of the regular season and possibly the playoff push as well. So the last few games here for Mason: Week 12 versus New Orleans, 5 carries, 25 yards. And then last week, good yards per carry, 8 carries, 51 yards. So right now, a lot of teams on bye this week. Few running backs banged up like Kenny Walker. We don't know if he's going to play. Najee Harris, he missed practice early in the week. We don't know 100% if he's going to play. And Mason, at least he's going to have a role here with this 49er team. And Christian McCaffrey, you know he's still fragile, and he could go down at any time. So right now, available in 87% of fantasy leagues. And a guy who at least is going to get anywhere from 8 to 12 touches. I have Mason as a sleeper this week. The next guy, Chuba Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers. So right now, Donta Foreman, we know, is the number one running back over there in Carolina. And he's been doing well for the most part. And Hubbard missed a few games over the last few weeks since returning week 11 at Baltimore. 4 carries, 2 catches, 25 yards. And week 12 versus Denver had a big workload. 17 carries, 65 yards last week to bye. So this week, a good matchup with the Seattle Seahawks that give up the most fantasy points to running backs on the season. But this game here, I think, could be tightly contested for the first half. But then second half of the game, I think a lot of passing, it's going to be here with Sam Darnold. I know Hubbard the last game didn't get one target out of the backfield, but they were obviously in a big lead in that one versus the Denver Broncos. But this week, he available right now in 72% of fantasy leagues. He's a running back that is versatile, more catching back out of the backfield than running in between the tackles. But with a decent matchup in a game that could be close for the majority of it, I think Hubbard's a decent sleeper option this week. And the third and final running back I have as a sleeper this week is Tony Jones Jr. of the Seattle Seahawks. So right now, it's not looking good that Kenneth Walker is going to play in this ball game with his ankle injury. And Tony Jones Jr., somehow, it's surprising to me, he's still out there in 89% of fantasy leagues. A lot of owners think Travis Homer and DJ Dallas, who's banged up as well, are going to be the running backs. But DJ Dallas, he's not really a running back that's going to get a lot of work in between the tackles. He's more of a passing down guy as well. And we saw last week Tony Jones and obviously DJ Dallas get the rest of the work in that ball game once Walker went out, even though I know Homer was inactive with an illness. But anyway, last week at the Rams, 7 carries, 14 yards. And Jones even added 2 catches for 18 yards. So I think he's definitely get some work in this ball game here. And obviously the Seahawks like him, that they claimed him off waivers early in the season from the New Orleans Saints. So right now available in 89% of fantasy leagues. If DJ Dallas is out, he's going to be the short down back and first and second down back, where Homer playing is the third down back here, which is definitely a good thing here, especially in an offense that has a lot of success running the football. Even Rashad Penny early in the season was running well before he went down and Walker took over. So right now, like Tony Jones is a sleeper this week and a guy you can use in 12-team leagues or deeper in your starting lineup. So that's a few running backs I have as sleepers for Week 14 of the fantasy football season.